So the last two that these two walked onto a court together was in the final of a Grand Slam championship. Everybody's it was in Melbourne, Rod Laver Arena, and it was supposed to be Maria Sharapova. But it wasn't, because the day really belonged to Serena Williams, and the whole tournament long she had been talking about how she felt that, you know, she was an underdog, but she came through and won the whole thing. And a very friendly hello to everybody. I'm Cliff Drysdale alongside Mary Jo Fernandez. We've seen already 6 days of some really interesting play here, Mary Jo, but the last time that we saw these two playing against each other, it was as big a surprise as what I'm making out, wasn't it?
It was huge. I mean, let's face reality. Serena Williams had only played 4 tournaments last year. She was unseeded, ranked 81 in the world, did not enter the Australian Open in the best shape. She got better as the tournament progressed, but when she took on Maria Sharapova in the final, we said anything can happen, but Sharapova probably has a slight edge because she's been playing so many more matches. Well, let me tell you, Serena sent a signal very early on from the very first point that she was going to dictate, she was going to control the tempo. And Cliff, she was seeing the ball like a basketball. I mean, she could not miss. The serve was an issue for both players. It was on for Serena, but Sharapova had troubles throughout the tournament with double faults, and I think that caused her to be a little tentative. But Serena moved well. I mean, she did everything as well as we've seen her in the past. So a straight set victory in about an hour. It was a huge surprise to everyone, including Maria Sharapova.
Well, Serena thinks that when she's playing well, is still the best player in the world. Here's a look at what Maria said about that match.
Well, she said that Serena played great and I wasn't there. I can't look back at that match. Well, she'd like to quickly forget about that match because it was very one-sided. Serena, on the other hand, said about that final against Maria, I think she was there 100%. I just played well. When I played Maria last time, it was 2-3 months ago, and this is a new day, a new match, a whole new thing. And it is, and that's what Maria really has to focus on. Forget about the final of the Australian Open.
Look, there was another huge issue here yesterday in the championship as Serena Williams was great on court, but she was being harassed by somebody off court. It's something that I guess is a part of sports, but the guy was finally ejected. Let's listen to how Serena talked to the chair umpire about this idiot.
But it's really, I've never experienced this in about 10 years of playing. It's really nervous.
Why you say arrest you as a kid? Okay.
They're pointing to him right now.
Okay. That's okay.
He needs to be removed and never come to our match again.
Okay.
Like, he needs to be removed off WTA premises. His name needs to be taken down.
Well,
he's done.
As people gonna try to do something for right now.
I want his name. He could be a stalker. He could be after me.
Okay. No problem, sir.
They're pointing to him.
Yeah.
They know everything that's going on.
Well, you know who the guy is? Okay, so you know where it is, and she wants him to be removed as soon as possible.
And he's a coward. He won't even admit to who he is.
Right in front if he says another word.
I guess we know what's going to happen. We're gonna...
Apparently he's a guy in the tan shirt.
I know that. I think it's...
I mean, he could be at my hotel tomorrow night trying to hurt me.
We have somebody around him, and they just saying a word, he will be removed right away.
But he's not going to say anything else because he knows I told.
Well, unfortunately...
I mean, he said some evil things. It was crazy. I couldn't believe what came out of his mouth. And as an African American, I'm not going to stand for it.
Tough.
Here is what Serena said in the press afterwards, but what you're not looking at is that she said, look, I'm cleaning this up a bit. This guy used the N-word yesterday in this match, and that's why this whole thing developed, Mary Jo. It's just uncalled for. The guy was escorted out by police, and he's not allowed back, and good riddance.
Oh, it was horrible, and you have to give credit to Serena for really mentally hanging in that match and being able to focus, because he heckled her from the start of the match to the end. He wanted her to hit double faults, he wanted her to hit in the net, and Serena did a great job just to persevere, and he is out. He will not be back. There are pictures of him around the site just in case, but long gone.
And Pam Shriver at courtside with a thought.
Well, Clippy, I talked to Serena's camp just a little while ago about that incident, and they said that clearly it was distracting to Serena, but it wasn't until end of the match when the guy said the word that really is a forbidden word and disgraceful that really set Serena off. When you think about through the years, for 10 years, controversy has surrounded the Williams sisters because of their stardom and their unique story in tennis. Going back to the '97 U.S. Open when Irina Valea bumped Venus, who was on her way to getting to the finals as a rookie on the tour. That was a huge incident. Their father, Richard Williams, kind of weighed in with whether or not that was a racial incident. There was this scene at Pacific Life Open a few years ago in the semifinals between Venus and Serena. We were all set to go live to air, and with 30 seconds to go, Venus decided she had to retire with a knee injury. The crowd booed like mad when Serena took the court in the finals against Clijsters the next day, and the Williams sisters have not shown up since in Pacific Life Open because they thought that could have been driven by racial comments. And also there was a watchgate just the match before they played the finals of the Australian Open, where someone in Serena's camp glared the watch at Vaitasova. That was huge news in Australia, not so big up in the States. I'll tell you one thing about all those matches. Every time the Williams sisters have won those situations, they deal with controversy so well. They're mature competitors, but let's face it, there's nothing better in tennis right now than Sharapova against Serena Williams.
You got to believe it, and a very good summation from you also, Pam, and all the things that, look, the fact is that these two Williams sisters are among, if not the most famous female athletes in the world, with the exception maybe of Maria Sharapova. So apart from anything that you see on the court today, you're going to see two of the most famous people ever in sports, in women's sports.
Absolutely, and it's a great rivalry. It started on this very court a few years back when Serena beat Maria for the very first time, but since then, Maria's had her big Wimbledon win over Serena, and then this year in Australia, Serena winning her 8th Grand Slam over Sharapova.
Okay, so we have a very nice afternoon and evening in store for you, everybody. Andy Roddick when this match is over, but let's concentrate on this one for now. Serena Williams, Maria Sharapova. That's it.
It is a hazy day, relatively speaking, for South Florida. The clouds are keeping the sun out of the picture for the moment, 75 degrees. The wind is showing 19 miles an hour. I don't see that for the moment, but that may well be the case. Humidity at 72. Players talked about the humidity here, and we talked a lot, MJ, about the humidity lack in the desert, and so now we're back in humidity, which in some respects allows the players maybe to play a little better because the ball doesn't fly as much.
Sure, the conditions are definitely very different. It has been extremely windy throughout this tournament so far. Serena talked about it yesterday after the win over Sharapova, that it was tough to get your timing out there because the wind was swirling, so that's something the players have to deal with, but both of these players live very close to here, so they're used to these conditions. Serena up in Palm Beach, and Maria trains a lot at the Voltaire Academy up in Bradenton, so I think they like playing in the humidity and the heat.
Players are allowed again to consult with their coaches during this match. That's after the sets, and Richard Williams is Serena's dad and her coach, as he is with Venus. Venus taken out, by the way, by Maria. Sharapova obviously is dad and coach also, I guess. He's coach, isn't he?
He's the coach. He's not the one that's designated to come onto the court, however. Michael Joyce, her traveling coach, is not here because his mom is ill, so his good buddy, Eric Basica, has been the one designated to come on, and you can come on after each set. And Serena actually designated Venus in her first round, had her come out. And yesterday designated her father, but her father apparently was not wearing athletic attire. You must be wearing athletic attire to come to the court.
Were you listening when P-Mac made his prediction on this match?
It was. You want to know what I think, don't you?
No, I'm just sitting here trying to get a suntan. Of course I wouldn't.
I think Serena has a slight edge. I mean, how can you forget what just happened a couple months ago? Maria, since then, has struggled. She had a hamstring injury in Tokyo right after the Australian Open, and she still continues to struggle with her serve, serving a lot of double faults. But I think the win over Venus in the last round for Maria did a lot for her confidence, because a lot of people were predicting Venus. She had just come off a win in Memphis a few weeks ago. Oh, it was there.
That was the gimme. That was, I can't believe she missed that.
She got the neck court. And Sharapova, really the only thing good she could do was barely bump it over. Serena saw it, she was there.
She didn't have the right grip on that thing. Well, she's got this two-hander and she had just the one hand on it and she just blew it, but she had total open court. Still game point, Serena.
It's important for Maria to get on the board early to establish first self. When you get beat so badly, that's the first thing you fear, is that it's going to go as quickly again. She may not be number one in the world, at least for the moment, because Justine Henin has taken her spot. I'm talking about Maria now, but this empire that she has built through endorsements and stuff, that just continues, doesn't it? It sure does.
I mean, it hasn't slackened off, or has it?
Well, I don't think she's taking on too many more, because there's not that many more she can take on. I mean, she's got everything covered, from watches to purses to perfume. One-two play from Serena, which she did so well in Australia. She set up the point beautifully with her serve. She's got such great disguise, and hit it up the tee or out wide, and then just hit to the open court.
Off the line.
Serena hasn't played since the Australian Open. She was supposed to play a couple tournaments in the Middle East. Got the flu for about 10 days. Skidded right off the line. Sharapova's forehand cross court. But we don't worry now if Serena hasn't played too much tennis, do we?
No, absolutely not. Something like Kim Clijsters did 2 years ago, isn't it?
Yeah, they don't play because of injuries, and then look at Serena's record this year in 3 tournaments. Quarters of Hobart, where she lost to the Austrian Sybil Bammer, wins Australia, and then has won a couple rounds already here.
Serena Williams holds, players will change ends. It's one game in the first set.
So a couple days ago, Sunday afternoon, a very, very marquee matchup. Venus Williams not seeded. That's why they're playing so early in the championship. Took the first set handily, serving well, moving forward. And you really thought that she had the confidence to close this match out, but Sharapova fought very well. It wasn't a pretty match towards the end, but they had long rallies. The tenacity was there from Sharapova. Even though she did not serve great, she did have some aces at the right time, Sharapova. And at the end, Venus had 3-1 in the third set, got down 4-3, broke back, and it would go to 5-all. A very long game for Venus got broken, and you see the emotions from Sharapova. This was a big mental victory for Sharapova, who has been struggling in her matches. Even in the ones that she's winning, she's having trouble closing them out. I think the one thing that Maria has to look at when she plays either Venus or Serena, it's better to play them early in the tournament. Better to catch it before they get confident.
Before they get grooved.
Exactly. So even though this is probably like the worst draw for Sharapova, if she's going to beat them, this is her best chance.
Serena coming out hitting very hard early, which is the same thing that she did in Australia.
Exactly the same thing. I think Serena's very clear. You see Maria's dad looking on and what she needs to do out there. I think the better the opponent, the better Serena plays. She knows that she can't afford to make a lot of unforced errors and to play defense against Sharapova. Sharapova played in Australia, reached the final, then went to Tokyo, got to the semis, but withdrew with a hamstring injury, and then got upset at the Pacific Life by Zvonareva, where she was up a set in 5-3. She reached the finals here last year, losing to Kuznetsova, who, by the way, is out already.
If you're right about her getting out to a quick start, the next couple of points are huge for Maria.
Good comeback in this game from Sharapova from love 30. Getting her first serve in. Serena punishing the short serve of Sharapova, and that's what Sharapova's got to worry about today. She's got a high percentage of first serves, mix it up. Not just serve to the extremes, maybe serve a little bit into the body, take the angles away from Serena.
Interesting how you struggle to become number one in the world, and you expect then, because you're seeded number one, that your draw is going to be relatively easy. But she has to play Venus Williams, who's unseeded at the moment. Venus took out Maria Kirilenko, the Russian, and then Sharapova had to play her 7-5 in the third. Now she's got Serena Williams, seeded number 13, and you know she's better than 13 in the world.
Advantage Sharapova.
And this perhaps could be the toughest draw she's ever had, Sharapova.
She gets through this match. By the way, the rest of the field is through to the last 8. This is still a last round of 16 match. So Nicole Vaidisova is waiting for the winner.
Tough opening game. It's such a big game for Sharapova. Vaidisova continuing to have a great season, 17 years old, from the Czech Republic. Shahar upset the defending champion Kuznetsova yesterday, and Tatiana Garbin of Italy through that section where Hingis she was upset, and Kleisters lost to Li Na.
Advantage Sharapova.
She hits a shot like that and you think, man. But the truth is that that's the kind of strategy that got her the Australian Open, just going for it on the second serve.
Wait, please.
She didn't miss too many in Australia in the final, Serena. And Sharapova's got to take advantage right now that she's getting a few unforced.
Goes long, and Sharapova's on the board. It's one apiece. Pam?
Well, just noticing a few things here early. I mean, Serena, to me, has already played more shots from well behind the baseline and missed more balls than she did in the first set, certainly at the Australian Open final. So that's good news for Sharapova. I will tell you that even though it's not as windy as earlier in the tournament, there's still a strong breeze. Right now, Serena's hitting into the wind. And the way Serena played a perfect match, perfect final to me, was a little bit because of the indoor conditions in Melbourne. It's very different today. It's not as easy to play as complete and a clean hitting match. So already Sharapova much more into this match.
How windy is it, Pam?
Well, I've never had a calm day in my days in Florida in March. It's windy, but it's not as tough as it was a few days ago by looking at the Gulf from my sofa in Los Angeles.
So it has been very windy every day, including yesterday. We talked about the serving, such a big factor for Serena in Australia. And I agree, in the indoors, no wind, no sun. We'll see if her percentage is as high today.
30-15.
Mary Jo, is Serena still so fascinated by that Hollywood social scene, sort of, and her interest in movies, or has that calmed down a little bit? Because she seems to be more focused on her tennis career for the early stage of this year.
I think she's healthy. I think that's the most important thing. She's had her knee injury that's really been a problem since '03 after she won Wimbledon. Had surgery and has never been quite the same. But I still think she's looking at movie roles and into Hollywood.
No breaks. 2-1 first set. Sharapova when we come back. Serena Williams up by 2 games to 1. Sharapova to serve, so we're on 7 the first set. This is the women's round of 16. There's Terrell Owens on the left of your screen. Star Jones next to him. Tiger Woods has been here watching, so this has been a who's who of famous people in South Florida.
Thank you. Players
showing
ready.
up here. Now, of course, the Dallas Cowboy. Did I say that? Dallas Cowboy?
Yeah. They had a big player party, Sony Ericsson, before the tournament started. Players got dressed up, and a lot of celebrities came that night. Wayne Wade.
Where was that?
That was in Southwood.
Where else?
Where else would you have it here in Miami? Serena was there. What's happening here? Naomi Campbell was in the crowd yesterday as well.
The tournament obviously last weekend. So his buddy Roger goes there and watches, and the people were just hounding him, Roger that is, for autographs behind the lines. So Tiger invited him in, on the inside of the lines, and apparently got fined for it.
That's right. Not allowed to do that.
30-15.
I know, I agree. I agree. But Tiger came, watched Roger play his opening match at night against Sam Querrey, and then went on the next day to win the tournament.
30 all.
So who dominates their sport more, Tiger or Rog?
I think that's a discussion we can have for a very long time.
Rog, I mean, he only loses 4 matches a year. 30 all.
Well played. We weren't able to see Maria do a lot of this in Australia, dictate and take control of the points. She was always on her heels, always defending.
Juice.
And got the shot she wanted. It was a good first serve, floating.
Seen a lot of unforced errors so far in this match. 8 for Sharapova now, 6 for Williams. Early stage nerves. Oof. That's wide.
The challenge.
Very close. Miss Williams is challenging the call.
She will.
On the left near sideline, and the ball is called out.
It's dangerous when the ball it bounces, lands that far from you to challenge. Let's see. It's good.
Advantage.
Could not have been any closer. Look at that.
That's incredible. So it's a clean winner, and it's a great point for Serena. Her first.
And that's long, and there's the break. How huge is it? You know, you change calls like that, and MJ, do you wonder whether matches that all the matches that you played would have been different if you'd had the system in place?
Absolutely. I mean, I saw a match yesterday with the American Amir Delic.
Yes.
Qualified, played Davydenko, set point for Davydenko. They called a winner from Davydenko. Amir challenged it, the ball was out. Amir comes back, wins the set, wins the match.
15.
So it could definitely play a major role in the outcome of some of these matches.
Well, it's played a major role in this first set. Break a serve.
$15 all.
15 all.
$13, 15.
Huge serving from Serena. It's such an advantage.
14, 15.
She possesses this kind of weapon. It gives her so many quick points. And I think it gives her the freedom then on her return to really swing out.
Game Williams.
Looking a little bit like the Aus Open final, isn't it? 4-1. You're watching women's round of 16 here at the Sony Ericsson Open. Live coverage from Key Biscayne, just off of Miami, everybody. Maria Sharapova and Serena Williams, 4-1. Joe Fernandez alongside me. I'm Cliff Drysdale, and Pam Shriver's at courtside.
Yeah, Cliffy, I just had a wander in the quarters, and after this point, I'll tell you who I ran into. I ran into Andy Roddick, first person I saw, and Andy was observing the warm-up between these two. and noticed a ton of tension, and the guys in the locker room were quite amused at how neither one of them were cooperating with the service part, and when they'd finished serving on one side, neither one would move to the other, and the boys noticed a lot of tension in the warm-up, which certainly got by me. Good on Andy.
Andy Roddick coming up next. Live coverage here from the Sony Ericsson Open. He takes on David Ferrer of Spain, and I think we mentioned to you earlier that they played here last year when Andy was really at probably one of his lowest points of his career. Ferrer beat him here. So that's a rematch, as is this event. It's look, this is a huge match for these two players. Serena said again yesterday, when I'm playing well, I've said it 1,000 times, no one can beat me unless they're on the ATP Men's Tour. She's won 8 Grand Slam titles. She's been injured a lot.
Terrific, and Sharapova on the run.
And that said, she's playing the number 2 player in the world. I mean, I understand this match in isolation is an important match because this is the biggest event outside of the Grand Slams, Mary Jo, but it means a lot for the future too, doesn't it? Because they're going to see more of each other, a lot more.
That's absolutely right, Cliff. And, you know, Pam talking about the tension in the warm-up. I mean, these two probably are the two with the biggest heart out there. I mean, they compete so well, they fight so hard. And early on, I mean, I think they try to play head games with each other.
That's my point. I think that's exactly right.
They want to get the upper hand, and right now Serena has it.
Yeah, I think in Serena's mind, she really does think she's the best player in the world. And then you have these whippersnappers coming up here and trying to take her throne from her.
Oh, but think about it. I mean, if Serena had any doubts about herself after winning Australia, they're gone. I mean, she wasn't in the best shape in the world, had not played a lot of tennis, so wasn't match tough. Was down and out a few times during that tournament. Was down 6-1-5 through the Petrova. Sharapova served for the match. She gets through it and then just wipes out Sharapova in the final.
Big help from the net, and Williams has got a break chance to go up 5-1 first set. And there is the break. Williams, 2 breaks, 5-1 first set.
Williams leads 5 games to 1.
Terrific start from Serena. And let's look at her rise in the rankings in the last 12 months or so. January 6, she was 11. Played Australia, lost to Hunter Cohen, then didn't play again until the summer. Dropped her rank to 140. Played a few events. Played the U.S. Open. Ended the year 95. Before Australia, she was 81, and by winning the Australian Open, moved up to 14. She's currently at 18 in the world, but she can only go up, Cliff.
No
She's
kidding.
got no points to defend until this summer.
Serena also said we both have similar personalities. Like, she seems to hate to lose, and I know I hate to lose. I read where she's a perfectionist. I know I am, to a crazy degree. I guess in a lot of ways we're really similar, and that's what makes it so intense out there.
All the winners have picked up for Serena. 4 more than Sharapova, and She's just won the big points. A couple breaks this set.
40 love.
Three-set points.
And she wins it on the first, unless Maria challenges that, which she's not going to. Easy first set win for Serena when all is said and done, 6-1. So the Australian Open champ in fine, fit form here at the Sony Ericsson Open. First point, second set. Sharapova serving, going to Sharapova, so 15 love here after Serena Williams. Couple of breaks, 6-1 first set, round of 16. Had some weather issues here in Miami earlier, so they are one round behind. Winner to take on Vaidisova, who's already in the quarters.
Love.
Both coaches came out, and we could not get audio from them, either because of a technical issue of our own or because the coaches turned the mics off, which is totally against the spirit of the whole coaching story. So we're trying to figure that one out. But they both called for their coaches, Dad Williams and Eric Vesica for Maria, who, as we've said, is stepping in here just this week for Michael Joyce. Game point, Sharapova.
Big serve.
Solid start to the second set for Sharapova. Some world's most famous names have won this championship from the start. Serena Williams, by the way, we've said, just lives a couple of hours north of here. Kuznetsova last year. Serena has 4, 5, at least she's got 3. Venus has got 1. Martina won 2000. And Serena really likes this area, obviously.
For service.
Again, Serena, living so close to Miami, has very happy memories of coming down here as a kid.
One of the best memories is coming here and when I was just a kid watching all the professional players play, and you know, it was one of my favorite. It was just a great thing for me to come to this tournament and watch like Steffi Graf and Gabriela. So it was just awesome. It was really cool. So obviously a great memory is winning after all that. So let's just look forward to just doing it again.
Love 30.
Opening here for Sharapova. Did not have a break point in that first set. couple of memorable matches with Capriati, 0-2 and 0-3 in the final. That went the distance. Beat Dementieva.
You make a good point. I mean, she likes these conditions.
Loves them. She's used to them.
Yes.
And Lacey's above 30 deficit with 2 very well placed serves out wide. That last one 109 miles an hour.
Three in a row and then point. Pointed out, MJ, no break chances in this match for Maria yet. She and 10 broken points. She struggled on her serve from the start.
That's the first double for Serena.
Seems like you've really got to try to get the first strike in, especially on second serve. If you just like hit it back gently like Sharapova did there, you're just asking for trouble. Sometimes hard to make yourself do it, but I think that's what both of their strategies have got to do.
Well, Serena's playing well like she is. You have to gamble. You have to take even more chances that you normally would. And the second serve could be the shortest ball you get in a rally from Serena. The easiest one. Trying to hit a little bit harder.
It's the third for Sharapova.
Well, and Sharapova's actually gotten a high percentage of first serves in this match, but if Serena connects, even with the first serve, she's on the defense. So she's got to gamble in and go for first and second serves. And again, that time she just try to kick it in. And Serena takes the initiative. She controls the point immediately. So she's under pressure when Serena's serving. She's under pressure when she's serving.
La footy.
It's still a problem, isn't it? it's still an issue. 4 double faults now. Break points.
She had 13 against Venus Sharapova.
We've got 5 double faults for Sharapova, 3 in the set.
Timing totally off on that first serve.
Yep. And that's easy meat, and Serena Williams devours it. 2-1 Williams with a break. She won the first set easily.
Sitting with Richard Williams and the coach. Richard, obviously the first set was a great set. Our microphones couldn't pick up your coaching. Not a whole lot to say. She played a beautiful first set.
I thought Serena played phenomenal well, and I think she's playing really well right now.
Do you love to see the tension? I mean, this is a great ride. This tennis. You can kind of feel the tension even as the dad and the coach by watching these two compete.
Yes, that's true. Sometimes the dads be watching each other too.
Now, yesterday there was some tension of a different kind in the general.
Nice job, Pam, but we've got a technical issue here that we apologize for. Nevertheless, interesting to hear from Richard, who is the coach for both Williams sisters. 2-1 with a break.
30 love.
Let's try it again, Pam.
Thanks, Cliff. Richard, yesterday with that unfortunate incident with a man yelling some unfortunate things, you have taught your kids how to deal with that very well, not to lose their focus. What can you say about that?
Well, actually, it's just one unfortunate thing that took place, and it's over with now. Yes, I did teach them about things like that, and it worked out really well. Everything's okay now.
Certainly is, and this match, Serena's playing beautifully. Thanks, Richard.
Thank you, Pam.
Gain point, Serena. If you were not with us when we opened the show, you should know that yesterday we had some clown in the crowd was harassing Serena with some unacceptable words.
40,
And Serena said afterwards, you know, she said, basically told the press what this guy had said to her, and he was escorted out as a result. The tournament officials said that he isn't coming back either, and that's where he needs to be, nowhere near this place. But anyway, they have handled it well, you know, they really have. And MJ, remember when Venus got hooked out of that center court match at Wimbledon that we were talking about together?
Yep.
They handled that beautifully too. I mean, she really got hooked, and they just said, "Hey, that's life."
That's right. She was playing Carolina Sprem, second round, and the chair umpire awarded Sprem with an extra point.
And Serena lost the match.
Venus lost the match.
Excuse me, Venus.
And then said, you know, it's my fault. And 1 point doesn't make a difference, but in the tiebreak, of course, it would have made a huge difference.
Game point, Serena. And she holds, so she's got 3 games to 1. Only lost 2 games in this match so far. Speaking of big stories on the women's tour and field, what about Kimmy Clijsters going down to Lina yesterday? MJ, any thoughts on that and her career? This is her last year, she says.
She's not playing too many more events this year. She's getting married this summer.
And then she says she's retiring, period.
Yeah, I don't think she's playing the Open. She's not playing the clay court season. Would like to play at Wimbledon. We will miss her, that's for sure.
Grand Slam winner at the Open.
Love 15.
Now it is becoming a real issue, these double faults, for this set. Meanwhile, Tommy Robredo, 5-6 on serve with Stepanek. Robredo was ahead in the set.
The serve became a problem for Maria in Australia. Started to lose some confidence. That's what the one shot she was working on her days off. And then she hurt her hamstring in Tokyo, and since then has tried to tweak it a little bit. She says that when she lands, she's a little bit uncomfortable.
La 30.
And now she's got to deal with that and the fact that Serena Williams on the other side of the net, crushing it if it's coming in anything less than 100 miles an hour. So all that together is putting a ton of pressure on the Sharapova serve.
Love 30. 7 doubles, 5 in the set.
Well, she tried to forget about the Australian Open final. She's being reminded of it a lot today. Not allowed to do too many offensive things out there, Sharapova.
With all the gifts that Serena has got, you know, she's not really being tested in a way, is she, Mary Jo? Because, you know, her game can't, we've seen it break down, but when you get this many gifts, it's not a real test.
Sharapova is challenging the call on the right baseline. The ball was called out.
He's challenged the call.
She's challenging it. She's challenging it.
And why not? Break point. Go down 2 breaks if this ball's out.
This was a Serena challenge, right? And this ball was out, so she's correct because the ball was called in.
Williams leads 4 games to 1.
Oh, it was called out. It was overruled, excuse me. So when all is said and done, it's 4-1 Williams. This one between David Ferrer of Spain and Andy Roddick of the USA. They played here last year at the Sony Ericsson Open, won by David Ferrer. They played twice. They've split. That'll be live as soon as this is over, and doesn't look like it's going to be that much longer. Unless Maria can find an answer to her serving problems. Can you sort of try to address that subject for me, Mary Jo? Have you seen it? Have you ever felt it yourself? Have you seen other players go through it? Is there a solution to it? The yips?
It's a little bit of the yips. And we have seen other players go through it. I fortunately never went through it. And I would have never in a million years guessed that Maria would go through it because she's so mentally tough. She's so confident in herself. And I think just a little bit of nerves creeps in and you start to doubt, and then
how about, you know, when
you overthink it.
How about when you're 15, 16, 17, you don't really think that much. Now you get to 19.
True.
And it starts to sort of get to you a bit.
We saw it happen to Kornikova. We saw it happen to Sabatini. We saw it happen to Corey on the men's side. What do you think?
Danny?
Oh, pretty late in my career, I had about 4 or 5 years of trying to deal with the yips, and that's usually when it comes in. It's fairly late in your career. Kornikova's an exception. I see this as a huge warning sign for Maria Sharapova, because what can happen is it can just build and it can get worse and worse and worse. As you start to doubt things like maybe the toss or your rhythm, and you're worried, it's insidious. It creeps into the rest of your game. So
what do you do about it?
Well, it's a mental thing. It's nothing that you can go out and necessarily practice. You have to try and mentally work through it in matches, because that's when the stress of it, that's when the yips come out. It's not on the practice court. That's why it's hard to solve.
And point Williams. 6-1, 5-1.
Williams leads 5 games to 1.
We were here just a couple months ago, Cliff. Finals of the Australian Open. It was 6-1, 6-2. Pretty unbelievable that it would happen again.
Well, this will be the third win for Serena in a row. Beat her at the Australian in 05 also.
Saved match points in that match 3.
8-6 in the third. That one. But so Serena has given away 3, 4, 5 games in the last 4 sets.
Love 15.
That is ace and ace. Double fault number 8. 6 in the set.
Now she's not sure whether to hit it hard, push it, try to push it in.
Pushing it in isn't going to work, is it? Doesn't matter. I mean, you might as well serve doubles because Serena's just whacking the second serve.
The outcome might be the same. She's got to find a way to regain some of her confidence on her serve. And that was one of her weapons.
It was a huge weapon for her, AJ.
Not only her first serve, but her second serve.
Exactly.
She used to go after. She used to get a good kick on it. It was tough for her opponents to attack it.
That first serve was weaker than her second serve used to be.
She just tried to get it in. And this, against Serena, that's just not going to do it. It's not good enough.
Next point. We might call it a beat down.
Yep. Another one.
First service.
Out of reach. One and one. 2-1 the last time they played in the Australian Open final. No contest today. The double false an issue, and obviously if they had not reared their head, this would have been a closer match. But that said, Major, I'm not sure that that's the entire story here.
No, I don't think so, because the first set didn't have any double Sharapova and still was not able to dictate and control. I don't think she gambled enough. When Serena's hitting the ball as well as she has this year, you can't just afford to get the ball back in the middle of the court. And that's what Sharapova did and paid the price. So now Serena Williams moves on to the quarterfinals to play Nicole Vidasova, the 17-year-old from the Czech Republic. It will be a rematch of the Australian Open semifinal, where Serena won in 2 tight sets. So we'll see what kind of a matchup we can have there. A lot of power. Payer, Godbin in the other quarter. Chuck Padazzi, the only player through to the semis so far from Russia.
Take a break from our live coverage. Sonny Erickson Open from Miami. Talk to Serena when we come back.
6-1, 6-1 winner, Serena Williams. Just an amazing performance once again against Maria Sharapova, but it won all in the first set. A couple of long games, and then what in the world happened? You steamrolled.
You know, she was playing tough in the first few games, and I was, hitting a little crazy, and I wasn't finding the feel of my ball. My serve wasn't going and where I wanted to, and after that, I just started hitting better.
Now, this service problem that Sharapova's having, she served, I think, 13 against Venus the other day. All the opponents know there's some free points. How big is that for you to know that the serve of Sharapova is not what it was, say, when she won Wimbledon a few years ago?
Well, I think, I don't know. I mean, everyone hits a lot of double fault. It's windy out here. I mean, normally I hit one double fault, and yesterday I had 6, so that was a lot for me. And, I don't know if this has to do with the wind today, because it was really windy out here.
You're sort of working backwards from the Australian Open. We just had a rematch of the finals that you won. Now it's a rematch of the semifinals against Vaitasova, another big-hitting player. What about that clash?
Yeah, she played me really tough in the last match, and, I have to come out playing tough again. She's a good player, and she's on the move, so it'll be a good match.
Well, you're on the move, but I got to ask you all this tape. What's going on? Everything all right?
Yeah, a lot of prevention tape and, little older wrists. So.
Well, it's working. Congratulations on a great win.
Thank you very much.
Flippy.
Thanks, Ben.
Great effort from Serena. Very clean match. She had more winners than unforced errors, 19 to 14 unforced. She had a couple aces, but for Sharapova, never had a break point against the Serena serve. Had the 8 double faults, a lot of them coming in the second set, and it was just another one-sided match going to Serena Williams.
Got a lot more coming your way. Live coverage of Andy Roddick against David Ferrer of Spain. Then Roger Federer will take on Guillermo Cañas. Guillermo Cañas, just so you know, took out Federer out in the desert of California. Nadia Petrova tonight against Justine Henin. That's at 12:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Again, a reminder, the Federer match may or may not be live depending on how long Andy Roddick takes against David Ferrer. So Maria Sharapova soundly beaten by Serena Williams. Andy Roddick when we come back.